a lot more work into this game. This is a turn-based tactics game. It's multiplayer. It's called Telepath Tactics. You will be able to play multiplayer over email. That is not currently finished yet, but there's also a hot seat mode. You can play with up to 5 of your friends, and or you can play against the computer. There is no sound in the game, so I'm just going to play some music and roll it. Okay. That's all right. All right. So I was going to play a quick match against the computer here. You can customize your army. You can set it so that everyone has the same army. You can randomize everyone's army. There's a bunch of different options there. For now, I'm just going to use the sort of standard army with a few heads. Alright, so as you can see, this is entirely tile-based, a completely new engine, much better than what you see in Telepath RPG Servants of God. We've got some really nice pixel art that I contracted with someone named Lauren Whiting to produce. Right now it's not animated, it's sort of still in progress. You mouse over characters to see their stats, right-click to sort of expand. As you can see, there's a whole lot of different elemental resistances each class has that's sort of unique to it. And every character has their own set of skills. So assassins, for instance, can leap over other characters and then just sort of continue moving. There are bridges which can be destroyed. You can actually go ahead and build more bridges if you have an engineer. And then you can just sort of continue on. You can move, build some more. Out of energy, so I'll just the flying characters. Certain characters can push or even throw other characters. So I'm just going to show you the Stone Golem's throw command here. So you've got mentalists, they can move other characters at range. Oh yeah, we have the Shadowlings. They're kind of cool. They can actually teleport through other characters. The animation's not done for that, obviously, but it kind of gives you the idea. And look, there's the computer. And it looks like it just froze. That's cool. Let's try down a smaller map. Maybe the computer just didn't like that. Yeah, there we go. So as you can see, the computer sort of goes through the characters. It acquires targets, right? Figures out where they are on the map, and then it moves to get whoever it thinks is the best target. As you can also see, there are random item drops. There's like a 30% chance on any given turn that items will drop. Any given item sack can contain up to 3 different items. The reason I put that in is because without that, it's really easy for you to just sort of pull up in a corner of the map and just sort of like, build barricades and such, which I'll show you here real fast. Yeah, it's really easy to just sort of sit there, have your engineer build barricades, pull up, and just sort of make the enemy come to you. With the random item drops, however, most of these items permanently improve your characters. So if you let the enemy sort of control the map, that puts you in a really bad position. I actually got the idea for that from Super Smash Brothers, because you don't want to let someone grab, I don't know, the home run bat or something, right? So similar principle here. This is to discourage camping and encourage people to be a little bit more aggressive. Let's see. There's a lot more I can show you. Units counterattack, certain units can move, attack, and continue moving. It's a very involved game. As you can see, he dealt extra damage hitting my assassin from behind. That's because there's backstab damage in this game. It pays to hit enemies from behind. There's my swordsman counterattacking the assassin. I'm going to show you one more thing that I think is pretty cool. See, there's the assassin going for the backstab. The AI will go out of its way to do that. All right, now the engineer, one more really cool thing he can do is he can drop explosive charges and then run like hell. And you can actually, you have to like sort of trigger the explosive charges by attacking them. And when they reach 0 hit points, they explode and destroy any destructible objects within 1 to 2 spaces, and deal really heavy damage to any characters that happen to be nearby. Obviously, you do not want to get hit with explosive charges. So that's kind of the core game. It's a turn-based tactics, very, very involved game. One thing I want to show you, though, more than just that, I want to show you the map editor that I made for this. I created this, much like the game itself, in Flash. You can create maps of pretty much any size you want. You can pan, you can zoom. There's a flood fill. As you can see, it's loading these tiles dynamically. You can actually drag and drop tiles into the tile folder, and it'll like show up in the map editor without even having to close the map editor. Which I think is pretty neat.
So you said in your other game, having an editor like this wasn't very efficient, right?
What's that?
For your other game, having an editor like this wasn't very efficient. You had to hand.
Oh, well, the problem with the other game, it wasn't that it wasn't efficient, it's that I didn't do it. And that wasn't efficient. If I had thought it through a little more carefully, I would have made an editor like this for the other game.
So you made this editor?
Yes, this editor I created myself. And like, I mean, the other game did have an editor, but it was purely for combat, right? That was the only thing you could do this. You could create combat maps. This one, you can lay down destructible objects, create terrain. Place spawn points for different characters. And here's a kind of a neat thing. You can toggle the visibility of different layers. So if I don't want to see the characters, I can toggle that off. Same with the objects. Also, this supports elevations, right? So I can actually paint different elevation levels onto this map. And that will, elevation effects are actually in Telepath Tactics. I'll show you a map that features that really fast. So the cool thing about elevation effects is it gives your ranged characters greater range, increases your ranged character's damage output capability, and it also affects movement. So like, you can actually move upstairs, and it'll like make you go intelligently. You can't move from like say here straight across to here, right? You have to move like this, up the stairs. I'll use my assassin because assassins are really fun. Yeah, so there you can see it sort of forces correct movement. Like I can't just walk straight across there. I have to walk onto this elevation and sort of move up like that. So yeah, that's Telepath tactics.
Do you use space star for navigation?
You know, I use something kind of like that. I actually coded it myself from scratch, simply because I couldn't find anything that worked quite the way I wanted to for Flash. But yeah, I mean, it's an algorithm I coded myself.
Yeah, how long have you been working on this for now?
I don't know, I started working on it sort of here and there a couple of years ago, just on some like really basic functionality engine. I haven't really been working on it seriously. I like started like seriously trying to work on this like last spring maybe, and you know, I sort of alternated between working on this and finishing Telepath RPG Servants of Reality. Yes.
So some people look at Telepath and is that kind of all the games you work on in Telepath?
It takes place in the same universe. I wouldn't say that everything I'm going to make ever will be Telepath, but it is kind of handy to have an established franchise because people know the universe, they're kind of invested in it already. And,
Franchise.
It's easy to get people excited about it. Yes.
So would this game feature, I mean, either similar creatures or similar, I mean, obviously similar lore to that of the other game?
Yeah, actually this game features most of the same classes and races that you can find in Telepath RPG Servants, like Sprigates, like that's a Sprigate, that flying thing right there. They appear in Telepath RPG Servants, bronze golems, stone golems, shadowlings. Those are all pretty much par for the course. One thing this game does do is it sort of differentiates out the different kinds of psychic characters, the sci-fighters. So like you've got Skia kineticists that focus on sort of shadow stuff. You've got cryokineticists, psi healers, and mentalists. It's all sort of differentiated for ease of play. The cavalry are new. That guy there riding a giant praying mantis. I'm pretty proud of the cavalry. Thanks a lot, guys.